Hey guys, it is Doug Judy here from 817 Hollywood 700 coming at you for another video. This video is for the leaders, that's R5, R4, or aspiring leaders, spenders, people like that. And this one's on how to lead an effective group, right? Well, anyone could start a group if they have a few diamonds, but that doesn't mean the group's going to be any good. So I'm going to go over some key points here, and I'll try and fly through it best I can. But I'm going to go through some key points that hopefully your leaders do, or you will do when you're trying to lead a group. All right. So switching over to my little outline here. So number one, I know we're transcending video games here, but core values. Communication. You have to be able to communicate with people. So that means, have them send you a chat when they apply so that they know how to chat, right? Or an emoji or a password or whatever, and put it in the group description. You have to be able to communicate or it's not going to work, right? Commitment. People got to do what they say they're going to do. If you make a plan and then somebody breaks it, right? It's like, oh, okay, it's frustrating. So, and I don't mean exactly the exact coordinates where the club has to be placed. I mean, a plan with markers and it doesn't have to be 100% exact, but, it has to be darn close, right? Curiosity. People that seek out knowledge and transfer that knowledge to other people in the group, right? You're curious about how the game works, how to help, right? Stuff like that. Honesty. Well, someone lies to you, or they say one thing and they do another. You can't have that. You have to be able to communicate directly and transparently, right? So that there's no misunderstandings. And then quality. Quality could mean that maybe you have somebody on your team that really knows the game. Maybe you have players on your team that spend some money, right? It's obviously going to be some combination, but that's how I would interpret quality in this case, right? All right. Next thing, channel setup. So for us, we have channel ones is just general chat discussions, right? And you can chat whatever you want about there. If it's just two people going on and on, hopefully they take it to a private chat. But we try and keep it fun and interesting in group chat and not only about the game, right? All right. Channel 2 is coordinates. That could be construction coordinates of clubs. It could be enemy coordinates, so we want to strike. So you post the coordinates there with the little share button, and then what it is and why, right? Like build me, or send one girl, or rob me, stuff like that. Officer chat, channel 3. Battle results. That could be from the parking lot, or it could be results from an actual fight. You post that so people can see who's in what car, what happened, what assets they have, and all the other stuff that affect the outcome of your battles. The last one is game plan. This is a one-way feed, usually from the R5, that says what is the current plan. I don't mean the thing we're building right now, but the overall, where are we going? Important information. And by the way, that game plan should also be emailed because some people don't have chat. It is disabled on their phone or something. So it needs to be emailed and communicated in chat. All right. Next thing, rules. So we made a Linktree site for our rules. It's free for personal use. And there's a few other things in there, like my YouTube channel and some tips and tricks, slide deck and things like that. But we made a slide deck for our rules. And these are our 3 rules. So number 1 is fan meetings. We give the heaviest hitting players the front row seat because we want people to join those rallies. And cars can drive faster than buses. So you put the bus at the front and the cars in the back, and they drive into the buses, and then you hit harder, and everyone earns more rewards, right? So when somebody takes a front row seat and they are not a designated heavy hitter, then you got to move them. And so that is one of our rules. Don't sit in the front row if you're not a heavy hitter. The way we do that is by total finance, which I know doesn't exactly correlate, but it's the only number that everybody can look at plainly and see how they compare, right? Without looking in channels and parking wars and, measuring dicks. All right. So you could just look and see finance. Okay, got it. I am rank whatever, right? Parking lot. Pretty common not to hit your group mates in the parking lot. Now, alliance members usually doesn't matter because you got to hit somebody, right? But you don't hit your group mates in the parking lot. It's a very common rule because it reduces both of your coins. And then the last one's alliances. So if you have an alliance with another group and somebody keeps attacking that group, it's like, I don't know, tanks their stock or something like that, or vice versa, they have to observe alliances. So if you have a player that doesn't observe alliances, then they got to go. Right. And by the way, all of these are a 3 strikes rule. Now, what I don't do is I don't demote them for breaking a rule. I have a personal chat with them. Right. That's why it's important you can communicate. Because when you demote a player, they get demotivated to play. It's demoralizing, right? For something that could just been a mistake, right? So you chat with them, right? Privately. You do not make an example out of them unless you get really upset, I guess. But some people don't respond in chat until you kick them out, which is incredibly frustrating. But anyway, private chat, don't make an example out of anybody, but 3 strikes and you're out. Activity promotions. So we keep our inactive players as interns, and that is only orange status. We kick the reds, and they never get gray, but that's a status too. And then we promote based on activity for the most part. So for us, intern is orange status or below level 30, right? But we're kind of loose with that. Staff is everybody. Managers are everybody with 1,500 group points for the week and players who participate in chat. Those are looked at as pseudo leaders because they're known more because they participate in chat. They communicate. And then R4s, yes, they're powerful. Yes, they communicate in chat. Yes, they probably have a lot more group points, maybe 2,000, 1,500. It doesn't matter as much because it varies from week to week. But what do? Well, yeah, they get the power of doing construction, so they have to know what they're doing with that. But that's an easy thing to learn. So the other thing they do is they help train the group. They bring the group up, right? Some players bring the group up in terms of setting an example for hitting hard, right? And some people train, they create tips and tricks and participate in stuff like that and answer questions for players. So that's the difference between a manager and an officer. So I mentioned we promote based on activity. We do not demote. If somebody doesn't hit 1,500 points for the week, we don't demote them. We demote them if they go orange status, right? Because that's when people join and they see a bunch of inactive players, it's a bad impression. They're like, oh, this group's not that active. Let me get out of here, right? So you have to be super rigorous with this. And when you kick somebody for going red, right, they could let you know in advance, which nobody does, but they could if they wanted to. And that'd be nice. But it's usually a one-way street with that, right? Nobody lets you know when they're going to not be here. So, yeah, it's not like work or anything. So we put them at orange. Now, if we kick somebody for going red, I send them a message. I say, hey, bro, let me know when you come back and I'll find a new spot for you, right? It's not like we're saying bye forever. Now, if they go red and then they're just gone forever, well, they never let you know anyway. So if they never come back, then so be it, right? Or if some person, goes orange often, maybe it's not the right group for them, This is an activity-based game. The players that win in Tokyo, the groups that win in Tokyo are the most active. So, newsflash. Okay, next thing, construction. 3 points of construction. Time zones. You need players in all 3 basic time zones, okay? That's Asia, Europe, and the United States, generally, okay? If you have 2 officers in each of those places at a minimum, you could have 3 because you get 9 officers when you max it out. You can make sure that your construction plan is executed 24/7. And that's important because it takes time to build clubs, right? Even though you only get 10 a day, it takes time, especially when you can only build 1 at a time. If you're building in a straight line, you need it. You need 24/7 build. All right, plans. Plans means you make markers on the map one by one as to where to build each club. And it takes time to do that every day, to put the markers there, right? And they don't have to be 100% exact because there's hotels and stadiums and stuff like that get in the way. But, it should be on the path. And then the other thing you do is you put the big arrow, the red or blue arrow marker at your destination, right? So you use the green markers to mark the path. You use the big markers to mark the destination. And there's other uses for those markers, of course, but that's the basics with construction plan. Okay. So you design the plan together, you talk about it as a group, and then put the markers on the map, and then it can be executed 24/7. And it's got to happen every day. Every day. Right? Next one's is an easy one. It's apply to join. So if you don't change that setting in the group settings where they have to apply and you put a password or an emoji or whatever that they have to chat you, you're going to get a bunch of randos in there that most likely don't fit your core values, right? So really important you change that setting in the very beginning. Next one is theme. This is like to do with your group name and your player names and stuff like that. Whatever your theme is, hopefully it's not like too cheeseball, like, I don't know, Disney or Harry Potter or Marvel's been beat to death, right? And hopefully it's not something really, really stupid that you see often in this game in particular. Boob, ass, tit, right? Stupid shit like that. Maybe funny in the short term if you're like 16, but it's really not in the long term, So, I don't know. Maybe you want to have fun. Maybe you want to instill fear in your opponents, right? Well, you got to find a theme that fits that, right? Not everybody has to fit it, right? It's not a requirement, but it does make it more fun for the people that want to. So that's it. Those are my key points. I promise you, if you find people that share your core values and want the responsibility to lead, you will be way better off than 99